everyone, we're here in Pierre at Richie C's Brickhouse BBQ and Grill, and I'm sitting here visiting with Richie himself, and we're going to talk a little bit about the grill and how he got it started and just even some of the background of his barbecue.
Let's go!
So Richie, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the barbecue world.
Actually, I owned another restaurant in Pierre in the mall, and it was called Classy's. It was a little 50s joint, and there was really no barbecue involved, but I went down to my uncle's in Houston. Every day he'd go out in the backyard and fire up this big old pit that he made, and he'd be chopping wood back there and be sitting out there, and pretty soon he'd be bringing in this stuff, and all night this thing would be going, and I'd be out there with him. And so when I came back up here, I'd call him up and he'd tell me what to do, and I went out up north here to like Jess Farms, and I knew a guy that worked there, and he sold me an old piece of pipe from an irrigation pipe, and I welded it all up and made it sort of like his, and started cooking on it and started learning, and as time went on, we got better and better at it. And then we started catering out of the little restaurant. So we were actually doing a 50-cell joint, but then we were catering barbecue on the side.
So let's talk a little bit about the restaurant. I see you have your brisket plate here in front of us. Tell us a little bit about this dish. How does it go over in your restaurant? And what are some of the challenges that people have when they're prepping brisket?
Brisket's like one of our #1 selling meats here. It's actually probably the #1 selling item. Most people either don't know how to cook it or they're learning, so you could cook brisket and it can still be really tough. You have to learn how to wrap it and how to do things to make it get tender at the end. You get your smoke on it. It's expensive, because you got to learn how to cook it, and once you get it figured out, it's all right, but you got to trim it, then you cook it down, and then you serve it. They order a lot of plates like this. They're just what we call 1 meat, 2 meat, or 3 meat platters, and then there's of course the sandwich. The reason why we sell a lot of brisket too is there's a lot of things on our menu that are incorporated with brisket. We may have, our pitmaster has brisket on it, brisket mac that you just seen us in there with. I mean, there's many different things that have some kind of brisket added to it. We rub all our meats with our rub. We just take our rub, we rub them in. Every night they put in what we call the big meat, so they're gonna put pork butts and brisket in there, and that's gonna cook for about 13 hours during the night. Then we pull it in the morning, we wrap it, and then we start on our ribs and other things. So every night they're filling it up with brisket and doing that, and so they're always rubbing it, getting it ready.
Talk to us a little bit, because we've been going through COVID. It's put a lot of our restaurants and a lot of our businesses, they went through a lot throughout this process. Tell us a little bit about what you did.
I'd go, which I wasn't comfortable with, but I'd go live, which was quite hilarious at first. We'd go live and then we'd just do this video, because it was live, and all of a sudden you'd see stuff popping up on it, and pretty soon the phone would start ringing. Within the first day, we were wiped out just like that, and I was like, geez. So we did it again, and pretty soon I had to run out and say, we're out of food, They would just start calling and want to know what Richie's gonna do the next day, and it was just tremendous. So we just would do that every day. I'd start finding what I'm gonna put in the package, put it together, send it out, and they would just come until we were out. It was a good lesson for a northern city like this, because everybody's trained in the South to know that they're going to run out. We have to make a decision how many ribs, how much brisket, how much chicken we're going to do each day. And when we do that, we have no idea if somebody's going to wipe us out early. So down there, they always say till out, and when they're out, they'll put a piece of paper on the door and say they're closed or whatever. Up here, that was a different story, because people were not taking that very well. But with this COVID thing, they knew, and we would tell them, I only have so much chicken in, I only have so much stuff, and if you want to get it, you need to come. And they caught on real quick, and it was a great lesson, because now I think they understand more about the barbecue world and how it works, because we can't just go cut another one. We can't put another one on the grill. It takes too long. So that's good. And anyways, we also had huge support by the community. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, people would come down here and would tip like no other to these people that were working. They were very supportive. They would get online and say things like, help these restaurants out, order these meals, you know. I mean, people were, it was just incredible how much Pierre and surrounding area did that and took care of us. And
So if you could tell this community anything, what would you tell them?
I'd just tell them thanks for all the support and helping us stay alive and helping all my employees keep their jobs and keep paying their bills, and we appreciate it very much, and we hope that we're doing a good job for them and they appreciate it, and we try to give back by giving them good food and good experience now because they can come back in. So.
And I know on behalf of all of the beef producers and all of us, you know, at South Dakota Beef, we just appreciate all that you do and everything that you do in putting our product out there and keeping it out front.
You bet. Well, thank you.
For those of you watching, we want you to join us again next week as we travel from the plate back to the pasture.